Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you were recording, so you got your audio, but this was the picture.
I was just staring at that. Thanks, JB. Fuck.
So take two.
Yep, redoing it. Fuck. All right. Well, my guy JB just showed me that in like growing pains. Everybody, I just was recording, talked for about 30 minutes with the audio going, but the camera not on. I was on, but not on myself. So, oh well. We live, we learn. But rocking the Summit Ice jacket today, as I was talking about a little bit. It's a little colder this morning. It got into the 30s as I woke up, so perfect excuse to rock the jacket. And also rocking my Burr Oak State Park Bobcat Trail Marathon full and half marathon t-shirt. Ran the marathon back in the summer. Was recapping bit of fun trips I went on. I got this shirt, like I said, from running a marathon down in Ohio in the Appalachian Mountains. Was a fun time. Tough trip. Was a bit of a goal of mine last year. New Year's, not this past year, but the year before. Going into 2024, turned to my buddy. He had planned out a trip for us to go on a bike trip from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Washington D.C. and we were gonna cycle that trip. We decided, let's get in shape. I was like, I want to do some running. And I looked at him like, hey, you want to run a marathon? Let's do the Detroit Marathon. And he said, fuck it. So we got to working. I was about 40-50 pounds heavier than I am now. So told him, I'm gonna put the work in, show you I'm serious. After about 2 months of running, we started getting together and meeting up. I started running 1 day a week together, 2 days a week together, turned into 3 days a week, meeting up at Belle Isle. Started, inspired me and my guy Ryan Lentz, who's hanging out in the back, to create this little run club that we got going on. And 313 Run Club on Facebook if you feel like joining. But, like I said, didn't get to sign up for the Detroit Marathon. It sold out for the first time ever last year, and you need documentation to go into the International Marathon to cross over to Canada. Just like TSA, they can stop you at any moment if they want to, check your information, and like they can search your bags, like they can check your ID and make sure you're, not illegally crossing the border. So didn't have that, didn't get it in time before the marathon sold out. So unfortunately wasn't able to sign up for that. Had to settle and sign up for a different race. Looking online, found a cool website with a bunch of different races and found the Bobcat Trail Marathon in Ohio. Decided, I'll sign up for that. And, didn't expect it to be as tough as it was. I saw that it was going to be a little bit hillier and a little bit more up and down. But when I got there and I saw the elevation and like once we were in mile 1, mile 2, and the whole race, about 1,000-foot climb, in like a quarter mile or less. It was pretty steep. Got a cool elevation map I kind of made showing like the lake that we went around and then the different elevation of the race and whatnot. So very, very cool, very tough. Definitely challenged me in ways I didn't expect. But mentally, you get through that, you can get through anything. So hopefully do some more races like that. If not the exact same race. I've been joking around with my buddies saying I want to sign them up for that. What's up, Willie B?
Hey, Chase, what's up right here?
Not much, man. How you doing this morning?
Not much, man. Glad to see you, baby.
You too, man. Glad to see you too.
Oh, most definitely. Shoot. Chopped cheese, man.
Hell yeah.
Eat the new next.
Our guy Willie B, and as the guys start popping in the studio, my guy JB helped show me I was fucking up. Would have had a bit of a longer episode today, but we're doing a quick recap. Willie B, chopped cheese, making a quick appearance, but yeah, the marathon, it was fun, and like I said, hope to do it again. Hope to keep joking around with my buddies that we're going to sign up for it. They kind of saw how, tough the elevation was and the climbs. So definitely weren't eager for it. But, we all have, I think, some smaller running goals for this year. Marathon might be in our future again. But for now, we're cool with just some 5K, some 10Ks, and just like getting together for these like group runs and whatnot. So, it was like I said, it was big. The big inspiration for the marathon, really, just to help get myself in shape, more or less. 2 things that inspired it. I'll tell the other another time. But we went on that bike trip. We cycled from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Washington D.C, and that was a fantastic and fun-filled trip. Loading up the bikes, driving down to Pittsburgh, and then getting geared up. traveling to the capital of the country, D.C. and 5 days. I want to say it took us 50 miles, 70 miles, 70 miles, and then a couple 60-mile days roughly. First day was tough, man. We kind of switched it up. We were gonna leave, early in the morning, get down there, ride all day. We decided to leave the night before in the middle of the night, get down there at the butt crack of dawn, hit the road. We were gonna get some good breakfast, get some good snacks to gear up, and then just take off. But neither was the case. And so we just hit the road, Jack. And when we got going, we just kept going and going and going. Didn't really find any good places to stop. I mean, we're on these two trails. It's the Great Allegheny Path, which takes you from Pittsburgh to Cumberland, Maryland, and then Cumberland, Maryland is the start or the end, depending on which way you're going, from the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal, the C&O Canal, that takes you all the way from there to Washington, D.C. And so there's two long bike trails that we were able to take advantage of the whole time, with pretty safe trips, not like we're riding the highway or anything like that. But the hills in Pittsburgh, and then the full climb from Pittsburgh all the way to just outside, 25 miles outside of Cumberland, Maryland, was an entire 120-mile climb uphill, about 120 or 1,250 feet in elevation climb, gained in that 120 mile ride. So very slow ascent. At times you could feel it, at other times it felt like you were kind of just flattening out, but burned the legs, man. It was really tough. And then when you got to the Eastern Continental Divide, which is where the watershed is, so everything west of that flows into different lakes and rivers and bodies of water, essentially they flow all towards the Mississippi River, into the Mississippi, towards that direction, into the Mississippi Delta, into the Gulf of Mexico. That's from the eastern side of the Continental Divide out west in the Rocky Mountains, and then the Eastern Continental Divide in the Appalachian Mountains, that western half, and then everything east of that flows towards the Atlantic Ocean. So that 25 miles, the last 25 miles on the Great Allegheny Path, the Gap, was all downhill, and you go down you actually go lower than the elevation of Pittsburgh where you started at, and you do all that in 25 miles. So you go down 1,300 feet, 1,400 feet in elevation in 25 miles after you took it took 2 days of us riding in 120 miles to gain it, which is insane. Really cool. You're flying down that hill, and it's cool. There's a train train tracks that go up it, and there's some trains that pass as you're riding, and you're just cooking down the hill. So that's a fun time. And day one, man, it killed me. Like I said, we didn't get the food, we didn't get the snacks and stuff like that. So we're just riding. And the guys, they have some peanut butter and some cheese sticks and stuff like that they're munching on. But I don't like either. I don't like cheese. I don't like peanut butter. Not my forte. And so I didn't have anything. And I didn't have anything. I didn't pack because I was told we were going to stop and get some stuff. So I was hoping to be done, I was hoping to be ready and have that food bought, and then able to maybe get a snack along the way at a stand, at a store, or at a restaurant or whatnot if we did stop somewhere. Not the case. We ended up going all day, and we only get about 55 miles before we hit this blockade. It was almost we were almost at the past the time. We think we were the last shuttle of the day. The path had 4 miles blocked off, and there was a van with a trailer. You could load up your bikes. They shuttled you down to the other side of the path where it opened up, and thankfully it was at this campground, this RV park, so we were able to park. And they had like I said, it's an RV park, so they have almost not a restaurant, but they have a full service kitchen and stuff like that, and really pretty nice there. Had to get something to eat. End up getting a hamburger. I'm in line, I order, and then I had to pop out to the that parking lot, the outside area, and find a trash can, because my body was telling me you're gonna throw up. I had nothing in me, but I was just so physically exhausted that my body just wanted to expel anything in me. And so I politely and quietly just said, I'll be right back. And I went outside. I removed the lid to a trash can around the corner of the building, and I stuck my head in it and started just dry heaving and yakking up anything I could. And the most embarrassing part was this employee attendant drove up in a golf cart in the middle of it, and it kind of gave you one of those like, "Are you okay?" like passive questions, and it's just like they know, like they can hear it, like you're just going through it. These like violent, just like yaks, but I'm embarrassed. I feel awful because like obviously like they're gonna have to like someone's gonna have to take care of this and like change out the trash can and stuff like that, and it sucks. And my buddies are kind of checking on me, and I tell them like, hey, like I get done puking, and then they're like kind of pop out, and they're like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm done. Like I told them like I'm like D'Artagnan and Django Unchained, man. Like I don't got it in me no more. I can't ride another fucking mile. I can't. Like I can't push another turn on those pedals. And we set up our tents. We pay for a night of camping there, and the guys like I like sprawl out on laying down on a picnic table bench, and the guys see that like I just I'm exhausted. Like they tell me like I've never seen you like that, and like I'm a bit of a bitch with like certain things. Like I'm a picky bitch when it comes to my food and stuff like that. But we go camping all the time, and I can just eat hot dogs for 5 days. For like the whole camping trip. 2 bags of hot dogs will do me good. I know we'll make a trip in town and we'll get a burger or something like that one day. But I'm cool with that. I don't need anything fancy or schmancy, anything like. I'm cool with just a little bit of the rustic life. For a few days camping. But man. Just nothing in me couldn't do it. I told the guys I can't go anymore. Needed to take a rest. So the next 2 days we cranked out 70 miles plus, trying to get back on track. Ended up doing so, and yeah, I mean it was a fun time. We ended up making it to D.C. Rented a car, drove back to Pittsburgh, and then got the car back and drove back home. It was I think we got back to Pittsburgh I think we got to DC on the bikes about before sunset. We hung around a little bit, enjoyed the time, relaxed a little bit. Took some pictures at the in downtown. Went and visited, not downtown, but like some monuments and stuff. And then we rode to the airport. Actually, the airport where that helicopter and plane collided. We went right over that river in the Potomac. Right, we were riding right to that airport. I know exactly, like I can like turn my head to the left as we're riding over that bridge and like imagine like, oh, like that's exactly where that happened, because that's where the runway was and planes were coming down as we were riding over the bridge. Insane. But got there to the car rental place. We were the only ones in line, and then right as we get there, like 8 people show up, and it was a fucking mess. So you could see how antsy they were all getting, but didn't have to deal with that. We get a nice truck, load up the bikes, take that back to Pittsburgh, drop the car off. Drop the car rental off. After we pick up our car, follow it back to the car rental, drop it off, and then back to Detroit at about 7 a.m. I think we left the car rental in D.C. at about 8:30 p.m. Get back at about 7 a.m. 6:30, 7 a.m. in Detroit. So long 12-hour trip getting back from D.C. to Pittsburgh, but made it back. Fun time, and look forward to doing something like that again. We were talking about like doing a bike trip going from the top of Vermont to the bottom of Vermont, or there's like this other trip where it's like this big old loop inside Vermont that takes you to like 12 or 13 different like breweries and places like that, like wineries and stuff like that. So a couple different options for future trips, and we'll see what we end up getting into in the future. But like I said, a bit of a fuck up earlier in the day with the wrong camera on with the recording. So we'll wrap it up there. Have the too long didn't read the accelerated versions of the marathon and the bike trip, and hopefully one day we'll get to elaborate on those again and kind of give you the full story that we didn't quite get to record today. So we'll check you guys later.